The only thing of value in this age of Kali is the kirtan of Krishna. Kirtanad, meaning kirtan. Eva, certainly. Krishnasya, of Krishna. Doesn't say Durga, doesn't say Shambhu. It says directly, Shukadeva Goswami directly uses the name Krishnasya, of Krishna, the genitive case, the kirtan of Krishna. And that brings us to this special bonus section by the grace of Shrilesh Maharaj. I get to speak on one of my favorite topics, Sri Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu, whose appearance is tomorrow. Lord Chaitanya's appearance coincides with the Hindu day Holi. But the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they do not pay so much attention to Holi. They pay more attention to Gaura Purnima, the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, there is some nice mantras which will help us to understand this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This first mantra was composed by Rupa Goswami when he was known as Dabir Kas, and he surrendered to Lord Chaitanya. This verse was composed. Namo Maha Vadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Twise Namaha. So this mantra first says Nama, obeisances, I surrender. And then it says Mahavadanya, the most munificent, the most magnanimous of all incarnations. Mahavadanyaya avatar. Lord Chaitanya is the most magnanimous, munificent. Why? Krishna Prema Pradayate. He is giving the greatest gift that one can get. If a charitable man, wealthy man gives some charity, that's everybody applauds, oh so nice. But compared to what Lord Chaitanya is giving, it is insignificant. Because Lord Chaitanya is giving Krishna Prema, love of Krishna, love of God, which is considered to be the Panchama Purushartha. In Vedic philosophy or Hinduism, they have the four Purusha Arthas, the four goals of a human being: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. So these are called the Purusha Arthas, the goals of a civilized human being: religion, economic development, sense gratification, and ultimate liberation. But Lord Chaitanya is giving Panchama Purusha Artha, the fifth goal, which is far greater than these other. He's giving love of God, Krishna Prema. And there are so many quotes in the Shastras which this moksha, this liberation, one who achieves this moksha or liberation, achieves what is known as Brahma Ananda, the bliss of spiritual life. But you will find so many verses in the Shastras that this Brahma Ananda, this bliss of liberation, is insignificant. It is so paltry compared to what Lord Chaitanya is giving: love of God, ecstatic love of God. They cannot be compared. It's like comparing iron and gold. Both are metals, but the quality, the cost, the price, the value between iron and gold. Gold is sold at hundreds of dollars an ounce. So in the same way, any material pleasure, even Brahmananda, the bliss of liberation, is insignificant compared to what Lord Caitanya is giving, and He's giving it freely. He's not charging. He gives it freely. So that's why He's Mahavadanyaya Avatar, the most magnanimous incarnation. Gora Twishe Namaha. Now, Rupa Goswami wants us to understand that Lord Caitanya is Krishna, not Radharani. Lord Caitanya is Krishna in the mood of Radharani, in the emotion of Radharani, in the service attitude of Radharani. And He also assumes Radharani's golden complexion, Gora to say. So this is important to understand, that Lord Caitanya is Krishna, and that He's Krishna trying to understand the position of Srimati Radharani. And that leads us to the next mantra, which was composed by the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, as part of his opening 14 Sanskrit shlokas, which are considered the mission statement of the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this is the final, the 14th verse. Panchatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sorupakam Bhaktavatarang Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So this is explaining the Panchatattva, 5 truths in one. They're one, but there are 5 truths or tattvas. Okay, so the translation: I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is non-different from His features as a devotee. So Krishna descends as His devotee in the form of Lord Caitanya. Krishna's feature as a devotional incarnation, so that is Advaita Acharya, who is actually Mahavishnu. Devotional manifestation or expansion, so that's Nityananda, who is actually Balaram. Feature as a pure devotee, so that's Srivas Thakur, who is actually Narada Muni. And devotional energy, Gadadhar, who is actually Vrindavaneshwari, or an expansion of Radharani. Now, I just read yesterday or a few days ago, and I spoke about it in my morning class with the devotees of San Diego, that Gadadhar has the same mood of devotion towards Lord Caitanya just as Rukmini has towards Krishna. So we've heard a little bit about Rukmini, and in the upcoming episodes we will hear more about Rukmini's mentality and Rukmini's bhav. So according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Gadadhar has that same type of emotional feeling or relationship with Lord Caitanya that Rukmini had with Krishna. Now, let's try to understand a little more about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Lord Chaitanya, or should I say Krishna, descending as Lord Chaitanya, he came 500 years ago for external reasons and for personal reasons. So the external reason, Patita Pavana, Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya in order to deliver the fallen souls of the age of Kali. And therefore one of Lord Chaitanya's names is Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the fallen souls. And the way Lord Chaitanya delivers the fallen conditioned souls is by distributing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And by giving this Mahamantra freely and allowing even the lower classes to chant the holy name of God, Lord Chaitanya delivered the fallen conditioned souls and again gave them love of God. Because repeatedly it is said in Caitanya Charitamrita, the true result of chanting Hare Krishna is not liberation. No, liberation is an insignificant byproduct of pure chanting. Actually, you get liberated even in the Nama Abhasa stage, a glimpse of pure chanting. You're not even purely chanting and already you get liberation. No, the true result of chanting, and this was explained by Haridas Thakur several times. This is explained, especially the one incident where he's being questioned by Lord Chaitanya, that the true result of chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is that one develops his dormant ecstatic love for God. So that's the external reason. Lord Chaitanya came to deliver the people of the age of Kali, because he appeared just 500 years ago, just 500 years ago. And so he came to deliver the fallen souls, that's external. But Lord Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya for some personal reasons. And this is explained in the Caitanya Charitamrita by the author, Krishnadas Kaviraj. He spends quite a lot of the 4th chapter of the Adi Leela explaining these confidential reasons for Krishna appearing as Lord Chaitanya. Basically, it breaks down like this. When Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, he asked everybody to surrender. Very few people surrendered. So when Krishna returned back to the spiritual world, Krishna was thinking, the real purpose that I came as Krishna, the people in general missed the opportunity. They missed their chance. So I'm going to come down again and personally teach them what it means to surrender to Krishna. Now, in the form of Krishna, Krishna is all-knowing. Krishna is omnipotent. Krishna knows everything. But there is one thing, or shall I say 3 things, that Krishna actually does not understand. Now this is technical, and it takes a while to digest, but just try to hear for now, and you can think about it. So the 3 things that Krishna does not fully understand from the position of Krishna is what is Radharani experiencing when she loves him. In being in the position of Krishna, the enjoyer, Krishna has no way of knowing what is the experience of Radharani who serves Krishna. Also, another thing Lord Krishna does not know is what is it about Krishna that Radharani loves so much. Being in the position of Krishna, Krishna does not know what is it in him that Radharani is so attracted to. And then the third thing is, Krishna cannot understand what is the ecstasy of Radharani. What is that ecstasy? Krishna, he looks at himself, a reflection of himself sometimes. And Krishna becomes attracted by seeing his form, because Krishna is all attractive, even to Krishna. And sometimes when Krishna sees his reflection, he becomes so attracted, he tries to embrace it, but he can't. So Krishna wants to understand what happens when Radharani is loving him. What ecstasy does she experience by loving him? Because another thing Krishna can't understand is that Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. But when Radharani is serving him and loving him, Krishna detects that her enjoyment is greater than his enjoyment. And Krishna cannot understand that. And so, Krishna is trying to understand how is it that Radharani's ecstasy and happiness is actually greater than his. So the only way to resolve all of this, Krishna has to take the position of Radharani, and then Krishna, as Lord Caitanya, in the position and mood of Radharani, can understand how Krishna is all attractive, what are all the qualities in Krishna that attract Radharani, what it's like to serve Krishna, and what are all the various ways that Radharani loves him. So for those confidential reasons, also, Krishna appears as Lord Caitanya. Now also in understanding Lord Caitanya, Lord Caitanya lived for 48 years. Exactly 24 years he lived as a householder, and 24 years he lived as a sannyasi. In his householding years, mainly he was inaugurating the Sankirtan movement, the chanting of the holy name. That was his main priority as a householder, distributing the holy name. Then on the verge of his 25th birthday, Lord Caitanya took sannyas. And he took sannyas, again, he wanted to go deeper into the understanding of Radharani. And Lord Caitanya's mood in the position of Radharani is known as Vipralamba Seva, worshiping Krishna in the mood of separation. We already studied in our Krishna book when Uddhava went to Vrindavan with a message from Krishna for the gopis. And Uddhava spent 2 months preaching to the gopis, enlivening them. We read in Krishna book that Uddhava was like the Shiksha guru for the gopis. And Uddhava realized that there is a higher ecstasy than actual union with Krishna. And that is the emotion of feeling intense separation from Krishna. That was a higher ecstasy. So that is called Vipralamba. When Krishna left Vrindavan to go to Mathura and kill Kamsa, Krishna did not return to Vrindavan even though he promised. He could not return. And so the rest of the lives of Radharani and the gopis were spent in remembering Krishna, feeling intense separation from Krishna, which Uddhava could detect and could understand. So when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, it was that same mood of separation, worshiping Krishna, feeling that intense emotional separation, and that is considered a higher ecstasy than union with Krishna. So we'll stop here. Tomorrow is Gaura Purnima, and you will hear so much tomorrow about who is Lord Chaitanya.